Alright, up and going it looks like. Welcome back to the Booga Box live stream. It's Thursday's large project night. Working on a new inlay. Kind of got it sitting there right now, and only going with this one camera view right now. Because I'm also filming or recording it so I can do a time lapse type thing. It doesn't look like I can still. Trying to, I thought I figured out how to share. Maybe this will work finally. Alright, I think that might be it. I have to do it a way crazy different way than I would normally have to. So, it's up and going and got comments opened. I believe everything is going good. Recording, so we're going to kind of get into it. Not really saying what it is yet. If you've watched any of the streams, you probably might have a good idea on what it is. Not quite as big as the Chiefs inlay flag, but I will say it's the first type of inlay I've done this way. I'm using 13 different colors. There's a few of them I won't be using too many colors or too many rings of that color, but I did need to get 13 different colors, and we're just going to kind of jump into it. So I probably won't do any stretching out or whatnot of it during the middle. I might try at the end, something I can cut off easily from adding to the from the live stream to the time lapse that I'm going to be working on. So, trying not to do anything extra. So far I've done a really good job at recording every time I come to sit down and do any on it. So, and I've got roughly about 5-ish hours so far into it. So, got a little bit of time. I probably could do a time lapse of what I currently have, but I figured I was going to give it at least a week, and then we'll go from there and see if I can do some type of cool inlay, time-lapse inlay. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right back into it and continue going. Hopefully I don't kind of stop talking, since I've been recording a lot lately, but I haven't really been talking while I've been doing it, so I might zone out, who knows. We'll see, but I'm looking forward to seeing how this comes out, since it'll be the first type of this type of inlay that I've done. And I can explain more on that later when I get further into it, and you can kind of start making out what it is. And like I said, you probably already have an idea if you've watched any of my streams before, because I've talked about things I've wanted to do. So, told the wife and kids not to say what it is, because they do know what it is if they pop on here, since they like to give away things. But I hope everybody's having a good week into Thursday. Really nothing much going on here other than working on this for the most part, getting some stuff straightened up still. And it's still been rainy. It's been like 5-6 days of just on and off rain, where you can't really plan on doing anything outside, because you just don't know when it's going to start pouring again. Who knows? His daughter played a little bit out there trying to clean out the play box area. It's been overtaken by weeds the past several years. And it's like, well, we don't have anything for it, so, but now I guess we got something coming for it, so, for the grandkids to play on while they're here. So it's time to get it cleaned up. Hopefully I can get out there and get some of it done when it gets decent enough out, and need to plan on having days where I can take it and drop off everything we cut and clean. Leaf drop off, we can do it for free on Saturday, so try to get enough stuff to make a couple trips on a Saturday, and then load up the next week doing some more, getting it ready for Saturday. But I will say also, I probably will do a stream of this again, like tonight, on Saturday at some point. I don't know when. I don't have a good idea on time. I'm hoping to do it early-ish afternoon, since most of the time I do these at night. I'm hoping to do it more in the early afternoon. I'm hoping maybe around 2 or 3. We'll see how it works out, and hopefully I can. Maybe if I remember, I'll try to, if I know I'm coming up, I'll make a post and let everybody know what time it will be. Like I said, I'm hoping some point Saturday. I don't want to say for sure and give a time and not be able to make it, but at some point I probably will, because I'm just, like I said, working on it when I get a chance. So if I can plan for another hour and a half on a stream, then or even an hour at that, you know, whatever we can do. I'm hoping a time lapse of this will come out kind of cool. I mean, after 40 hours, I don't know how much and how quick it might be. Like I said, I'm going to play around with it probably by Tuesday or Wednesday with what I currently have on footage, and get a beta version done of that just to kind of see if it's going to work. I just wanted to get some good time, because, I mean, I can take 5 hours down to, you know, half a minute if need be. But will it look good? Will it, you know, what will you see, I guess is the question. I already had some rings ready to go here for the, well, kind of not pre-opened or anything, but sitting out. So there'll be a little time when I'm getting more rings lined up that I'll probably be a little quieter as I'm counting and getting them in, because they're so, you know, so many of these are just, you know, single color, then on to another color, single, you know. Up here, obviously, a lot of the dark rose and white frost. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I'll probably take a little quiet time maybe when I'm doing that. Doesn't take very long to get them set out though, but I like to mark them off and keep my chart updated, so I don't have any screw-ups. It's definitely, you know, most of my other inlays have all been somewhat easy per se. A couple colors, not a lot of back and forth. You know, you'll get little areas of the same color. So this will be definitely different on that aspect too. And I think what did I think I'm up on? This is row 14 we're on now. So we're a little over, probably around 1600. There's 110 across. So each row is 110 in it. So whatever 110 times 100 or 14. By the time I get to the end here, I guess it'll be 14. Like I said, I probably won't stretch it out much during the stream till we get to the end, just so that I can keep it in line with what I've been doing for trying to do a time lapse. I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should zoom in more just to this area that I'm working in at some point for a few hours, just to kind of have the time lapse up close a little bit too. Again, I just don't know how it comes out. I don't know if it comes out where it's so short, I might have to do, you know, 6-7 hours of it to make it worth showing. Like I said, it's something I need to play around with, and I got plenty of time. I mean, many more hours to go on this before I'll have to really worry about running out of time for anything. So just need to make sure I get enough of it for a time lapse, because I can shorten down a time lapse real short, but then it's going by so fast you really can't see anything. But I hope by the end I can get it down to at least, you know, a 4-minute video, maybe a 5-minute video clip. Hopefully that'll be decent enough. At least I'm hoping. I don't want to make it much longer than that. It'd get a little boring, I would think. If I could get it quicker, I would, but I don't know. That many hours of stuff, who knows? So back on to getting some colors here. Rose and gold. Getting them lined up. Kind of just do it 2 at a time. Mark them off. So I don't skip any, hopefully. I do talk to myself a lot during this time. And there wasn't much left to finish off this row. Alright, back to doing a little weavy. But I think each row has been taking me roughly 35-ish minutes to 40, depending on if rings decide to give me any kind of issues. Might take a little longer during a stream where I'm talking and looking around before I just kind of push record and just kind of start going away. I don't have to keep looking at the screens and seeing if I got any comments or whatnot. So I do enjoy having them though. So, and it's only for a few hours a week. You know, the rest of the hours I spend weaving and whatnot, I don't have to worry about that. So. And even when I'm doing the stream for this, I'm not talking, it's recording everything, but I don't have to worry about thinking about talking or looking around. I can just get into it and pound out some rings. Start making a switch over here pretty soon from the dark rose kind of background area here. We'll be changing colors on that front. And getting more into the details of the picture of whatever it might be. Like I said, I might take a break in the middle where I can have if I take about, 3-4 minutes, it'll be easy to find that area and cut it out for the time lapse. So we might do that at the midway point of the stream. If not, we'll do it at the end for sure, because that's easy enough to cut off. And with it being time-lapse, who knows if it'll really matter too much. It might cut off so much of it anyway that it would just look like a quick little blip of moving it around. This is actually part 1 of, a much larger project I'm working on completing. I've talked about it before, and I probably won't have to worry about surprising later on per se. But 4, 5, 7. I guess it's got 8 and possibly a 9th part. A couple of them are about the same size as this, and then I'll have some others that are totally different size. I'll need to get some of the first parts finished before I can do the other parts, because I need to know how big everything is to design out the other parts that I'm doing with it. So, and I mean, I can use the different parts for displaying purposes before it goes all together. And wife, kid knows what I'm doing, so they're asking me, well, would you be willing to sell the part? And I'm like, well, yeah. I'd sell the part. I mean, I would have to kind of redo another one to finish off mine, but if somebody likes something that I'm making and it can be pretty much finished, I'm willing to sell this. There have been a few things that are mine, but this I just kind of wanted to make. If it sells, great. If not, it'll make a good piece to show. It's going to be rather large when it's done. Who knows how long that'll take? We'll see. I do enjoy doing the inlays though. I can sit here and just work on them a lot more than some of the other stuff. So, yeah, here's a quick look. It's kind of really smushed up, but I don't want to pull it too tight because you want it to be better when I get it longer. You'll see more of the detail there once we get there. So back on to some more ring counts. Oh, come on. Since I'm just starting a new one here, we'll probably have quite a few I'll put in this to do. Then I might have to go through and take apart the double stuck rings. I've got quite a few of those. I picked through them at first, but then I'll start ending up with a bunch of doubles. Well, I was thinking too, the next one's two each this time. It's kind of like a random, non-random color in here for some of this background area. So we can get back to doing some mailing. Yeah, getting some length into it, finally. Be better once it gets more square and then be beyond, or about halfway to square, it starts becoming a little easier to manipulate, and right now it's kind of hard to get, the full stretch of it instead of the pulled apart, always kind of elongates the picture till it's done. Kind of have to take that into consideration when you're doing your graphic for your inlay. Gotten pretty good with it. A little luck and a little skill. Okay, a lot of luck, very little skill. We'll say that. And I'm just hoping it'll come out decent enough. Being the first style like this that I've done, and other things I'm pretty confident in, this is definitely a lot more nerve-wracking, just wondering how is it going to turn out at the end. Just since I haven't done anything like it before, and being such a large project too. You're like, just please work, please, please. But I'll still be working on it all the other days. I'll still be doing the stream on Monday of the medium project, unless, I get more people that want to watch this and would rather watch this inlay instead. I mean, I could change over and do that, but planned nights are Monday night, Wednesday, and Thursdays. And an occasional Saturday. I'll be ready for all this rain to stop, that's for sure. Don't want the warmth that comes along after it, but, when you get out with it being warm and everything growing, I'm so far behind on yard work, it's insane. probably take a good week, 12 hours a day to get it caught back up where it needs to be. That's always the problem. Spend too much time mailing, so I don't get any of that done. And I'll be glad to get out of the dark rose and frost area of this inlay. I've seen enough of it now already, since we're 1,500 rings in. And there could be actually a couple other add-ons to it that I've thought about doing it, but it just kind of depends on how big the overall it ends up being. That's what will take some time to figure out, because I could just make it where it's 20 by 20 feet and I'd be happy, but where would I put it? So I do need to watch what I'm doing. Try to keep it within a decent amount of space. I will say with this, I have been able to keep more within an area when I'm working compared to my other nights where I'm moving around everywhere. And sometime out of the box, I have been noticing I can just kind of rest the one arm and come to it, so I'm normally within the same area. And that's one reason why I thought I might be able to zoom in and get decent video of that point, because of resting this way. Problem is coming back and sitting in that same spot. I take a break or, kick back for a second to stretch. All the hovering gets a little back crazy. And since I'm doing the video for the time lapse of this, I have been having to sit for it all, which has been a little unusual, but I can do it. It's just odd sitting down so much doing all this. Like I said, I like to stand a lot while I'm doing it. And I was thinking earlier today, I was like, had to charge up my dumb watch, if you want to call it a smart watch. I hate them, but keep tracks of all that stuff. I want a chainmail smart watch that'll track how many twists you do, how many times you see how many of those you do in a day would be fun. I can get rings, but you're twisting twice as much normally than your ring count, if not more. But I do want to thank everybody for, who's ever come and joined and watched before or watched the videos later. I thank you all for doing so. I don't expect to see too many people here, but it's always good to see people. I'd like to grow it a little bit. If you have any ideas on what we could do, I could do like mini tutorials on open weaves on some night instead, and try to get a better angle of viewing to show. I'm sure I could do videos of that too, and I thought about that, putting them out there, but although there's already a lot out there on a lot of them, but if somebody be interested in watching me do that, I'd be willing to. Oh, hello Vicky, sorry, just now caught your post over there. How are you doing? Hope you're still there. Like I said, I've gotten out of the habit of looking too much when I'm working on this, because I'm normally just pounding ahead on it. Working on another inlay. I'm not saying what it is yet, but you've watched enough, you probably have an idea of what it could be. I imagine by next week I'll have more of it where it'll probably be even more tellable on what it is. I need to move that so I got a window partially covering my chat area there. If Mr. Mouse wakes back up. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now I can see all of your messages. It was twisting down there and I couldn't see them there. But yeah, it'll be a little bit smaller than the cheese flag. I'm only 110 across on this. It's probably going to be more squarish by the time it's done. Alright, time to get some more rings. Now when I'm getting rings set up, it'll probably be a little quieter while I'm getting them counted and making sure I'm in the right area and all that. I get a good setup and going, then I can kind of get into getting it done. And getting down to the nitty gritty of them needing to be pulled apart. Hey now, I'm not going to say that yet, but yes, it could be that. One heart. I'm getting down to all these ones that are stuck together, so it takes longer to get them pulled apart. Here, yeah, we'll start with the next on the next one there. If I guess until you win it. Sorry, I'm just catching that now. Be nice, huh? Well, yeah, and I've said I have talked about it, and I figured it'd probably only be a week or so, and I'd probably start having enough of it where people would be able to tell what it is anyway, so. But it'll be the first, like I said, first style I've done in this kind of a way. So it's definitely, normally I've worked in solid colors without a lot of bleeding of colors, so this is definitely a different style. And we're hoping for good work. We'll see. And I ended up going back and using some round rings. I hadn't, last couple bigger ones I've done the square rings, and I was going to in this, but then I decided I haven't done a lot in the rounds lately, so I'll go ahead and do some round ring ones. And I guess I haven't said it, so, and you're over on the Twitch, so nobody else anywhere else has seen it. And well, I don't know. I think I might have a couple of viewers on the Twitch side. I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't gotten into the details of looking up all that stuff and watching it. I just kind of get them going, and hopefully if the stream's working, I'm good to go. How it all works, unsure. It'll definitely be a lot smaller once this gets hung up width-wise. I mean, it stretches out to be like 28-ish or so, but I imagine it's going to come down to about 23-ish by the time I get hung and with the proper stretch on it. At least that's what I'm hoping for. We'll see how accurate I was. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm not. 2 viewers on Twitch, yeah. Yeah, there's some type of numbers there, but never know who it is. Like I said, none of them show you who's there, so I can't really say hi to them unless they post. So glad to have anybody there. Like I said, I don't care if you just come and watch, hang out, and don't post. I just thank everybody for coming and kind of try to have a good time. With me yammering along nonsensically sometimes. I find myself twisting a little more the other way here so I can watch that screen more than the Facebook screen. But yeah, I don't know if you were here. We're on row 15 now. I think I've got 90 something rows. There'll be more by the time it's done because I'll put a border around it too, but better get the harder stuff done first, then we'll come back. And I don't know exactly how I want to borderize it yet, so that's one reason why I'm waiting on that too. Once I get more pieces done and can get a feel of everything together, and then I'll decide on that. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, but I mean, I do plan on this taking quite a while. I mean, each individual will be short, but well, kind of shortish, but once we get more events going and everything, it'll be harder to get time in on it. But you know, like I always say, inlays, I do enjoy doing them. So normally when I got one planned or wanting to do something, I'll work on it most of the time. Instead of, you know, I could be spending some time working on trying to design some new stuff, or, you know, R&D on some of my other things that I eventually will finish, but I can't help it. I want to see it come together. Especially once I get the rings. I can make plans all I want, but then when the rings come, it's like, okay, different story now. Make that picture in 15 rows, yeah. You already did so. Like I said, anybody that's kind of watched any of it, they've heard me talk about doing something like this before, so. Been something I want to do, but I'm always a little more nervous doing this style, so that's why I kind of haven't done any, and figured, well, now's a good time to do it. I want to do another somewhat larger inlay. I can do a lot of small ones fairly quickly, you know, like the music notes and stuff that I've done for the daughter, and stuff like that. There's just smaller, you know. I think the staff one was like 4 inches wide by like 10 inches tall, so I still used a good amount of rings, but definitely a lot quicker because it's so small. I've done a couple of those, need to do some more. They're small enough and cheap enough, they sell pretty decently at events. I used to take hers along with me, and I'd be like, I can custom make one in these colors, but this one's not for sale. And now I just need to take other ones that I can sell, because people want them. I want it now. Yeah, I can take a lot of stuff, but I would need almost a whole store if I could take everything I ever made and wanted to make and have with me at any given time. My little 10x10 tent events. I get pretty stuffed in there sometimes with stuff, and then there's sometimes I don't even bring everything along just because there's just not enough room to show everything at the event. And then I just keep making more stuff to add, so, you know, yeah. That make a lot of sense, right? Yeah, it's better to have too much than not enough, really. I remember the first event we ever did, I barely had one table covered. And, thought, well, I don't know if I'll ever keep going, but, you know, I did sell some and gave me enough to get some more, and it just kept growing and growing. So that's always good. Yeah. Coming up on a couple rows here, I'm actually going to make a few minor alterations to what I had planned originally. I'll take a little extra time when it comes to those rows. Alright, needing some more now. Here we go. Yeah, I got a lot of these got to come apart. I hate it when they do this. Sometimes I'll get bags that won't have any like this, and I'll get other ones that are just constantly full of 2 and 3 stuck together. Getting down to the nitty gritties of what I had pulled out, so I've bypassed a lot of these lately. Oh, I did have a few of those pulled out though. I forgot. I noticed my phone never did beep at me to let me know I had a live stream going again. Back to the same old, I guess. Some more of you guys. Stop after that. Get back to doing some mailing. Oh, there you are, John. Hell yeah, I kind of have to though when it comes to doing colorful inlays. I gotta have. No way I can end it. Well, I guess I could make it out of titanium or niobium, but that'd be a crazy priced inlay, like insanely crazy priced inlay, and then still limited on some of the colors. Some colors you just can't get with that. Just got the notice, yeah. Yeah, I still haven't gotten mine yet. But if I could do my own anodizing, I would. I have looked at trying to find a place in town that could do it, and just with the price difference to try to do that right now, unless I would be turning around having to sell some that I do too, just wouldn't be worth it to just do enough for what I want. Time wait between all the different colors I'd want. And I guess that's why most people that sell colored anodized aluminum are kind of small and not a lot out there, just because, you know, I've noticed most everybody others are kind of more of a matte finish. Yeah, oh yeah, bad batches would royally. But, you know, some of the times, you know, back when Triple B was open, Blue Buddha they had their screw up batches. They'd sell those too, and sometimes they would look cool with some different things. I used to have some really cool bad mixes that they had, just different colorations within the same thing, so there was just a lot of variety. And it was cool, but you don't want to rely on it because you'll never be able to reproduce that same thing again, which would kind of blow. It's like, yeah, that was kind of cool after all, but no way of recreating that look because, you know, weird rings. I guess TRL sometimes has some of those, but most every place also I just find that they're matte finish, which is still good. I like matte finish for certain things, but I just like my shiny rings because they pop a little more from light. And I have no idea if I can even get shiny stuff done in town. Yeah, it does suck, but that is part of, you know, kind of have you have that own thing, you know, same kind of thing when you do your own too. You're still going to have some little cut-offs and stuff like that, but I mean, it doesn't suck as bad, I guess, if you had a full anodized, you know, coils you were cutting up and screw up a whole coil. You know, hundreds of rings at a time get screwed up. A little different than screwing up just, you know, plain aluminum. Or, you know, even for that matter, stainless steel. I mean, kind of really hard to screw them up, per se. I haven't screwed up any on any of those that I've done, you know. I've only cut one coil of anodized that I bought just to throw some anodized in my machine and give it a try. Didn't have no problems with it either, so. Again, it was just a matte color, though, and I was working more in the shiny side. Now, though, that they have made all their matte saw cut rings, kind of opens up a little more ideas, because before they were all machine cut for their matte colors. And hopefully, just seen on the Twitch, somebody want to be famous, buy followers. I don't care about that. Gotta have people that's gotta be a pain in the butthole. Sorry, I'm just checking out over here and back and forth real quick. I didn't look there for a while when I was doing some ring counting, and then once I got back into this, like I said, I kind of start vegging. I mean, I occasionally will talk to myself during when I'm not streaming when I'm doing this, but most of the time I'm just kind of working and vegging, going down the line. And then, you know, every few hours after I do this, I pull out the picture that goes along with it to see if it's looking pretty decent. How close was I? Like I said, we could get done with this and it just looks like a total laughable who knows what. We'll find out at the end, I guess. Most things, like I said, when I do the other styles where you're just working with a couple colors and basic inlay, I don't have any issues with those. I feel comfortable any size or whatnot. But this one's going to be different and got me not necessarily worried, but I'm just hoping it comes out decent enough to be recognizable, I guess. If it turns out to be a blob, that would suck. But I think I've kind of, you know, I've done enough regular inlays that I think I got the basics that I need to know here. So here's to hoping. See how, you know, I figure at least a month probably. Kind of depends. Some weeks I might get more in. It's not a super rush, like the cheese flag. You know, I didn't really rush, but, you know, it was an order that I wanted to get done, so. This isn't necessarily an order, so It's not a super rush, but I'll be, being when it's something new, I always want to work on it more. Just so I can, if it works, then I feel good and can continue and do some other things that I want to do. If it doesn't work, then it makes me go back to the drawing board and figure out what can I do better. Time to get some more to finish off the row. Where are we at here? 45 minutes? Not bad, we've already done one, almost 2 rows here, I guess. No, I finished off the one, so just over 1, I guess. Okay, where are we at? Sorry, getting a little quiet here. If I talk too much, I know I'm going to miss something. So I'm just trying to double check everything while I'm doing it. Alright, so that'll finish off this row. And there's a few other things I thought about changing up on this and making the background kind of a solid color, but then I was like, it's going to take away from the look, overall look that I'm going for. So I kind of want to leave in a kind of a mixed up kind of background kind of thing. Kind of give you that blur effect, at least that's what I'm hoping for. Once it gets further out. And I guess this view's kind of far out. Far, whatever it takes, yeah. That's why I put the wide angle lens. I want to be able to kind of, once it gets starting to get a little longer, it'll get more, I'll be able to stretch it out more onto the table. And it won't want to bunch up as much anyway, so. And a little bit more than the square wire was doing when we were working on it, but. And hopefully we'll just be able to start seeing more of it come together, and I'm hoping it'll look pretty good that way on a time lapse with having the wider screen on it instead of being tight. But like I said, I'm going to probably give at least 2 to 4 hours of probably some up close days to try to get a time lapse of more up close. But see, I'm kind of staying in the same spot as where I just started when I came back to working, but I'm not in the same spot I was when I was working up over here earlier. So that's going to be the thing I need to remember, is get my arm put down in the right place, and then I won't wander so much. And we'll probably go ahead and give it a quick stretch out here. I'm going to stand and give myself a stretch, get a drink, take a couple swigs of Sprite. And see, I don't want to pull it too tight though, because like I said, it's not going to be fully pulled open tight. I want it to hang natural. I like doing that better than stretching them out. Then you don't have to worry about them, losing some of their stretch over time. You just let gravity do the job for you. But yeah, I shouldn't have to keep scrolling over there, so. Yeah, we'll get in probably almost another row, possibly. I think we're, oh yeah, we're only, what, 50 minutes in. We'll definitely start before the half on the next row, even with a quick little break. Flip back over there, mister. Didn't skip anything anywhere, did I? No. Did I have? Oh, yeah. I don't know why I put that second one down over there. So that's the end of it. So let's go ahead and give me a quick stretch too. Kind of trying to pull it together best I can. Gravity does, like I said, a much better job. So we might be about 24 inches by the time we're done. Might come in a little bit smaller once we get some gravity effect going on and pulling it more, but and probably the bright light. I don't know. Can I turn off this light? Will it help see that better? No, not really. Oh, I guess I need to wait for the video to catch up. I was looking at the video going, no, I don't see a change in it. Yeah, a bit, I guess. Still kind of doesn't help with the wide angle lens that I put on it too. Kind of distorts it a little more. And I'm also looking on a little screen, so it could look better on a bigger screen. Quick stretch. I'm looking at my picture real quick here. And I think there's a couple in this next row that I'm changing up some color a little bit, just trying to memorize about where it's at. Next few rows is where I was making some slight modifications to the plan. Oh man, that blows. Stepped off. Last ring caught. Far side. Ew. Yeah, painful. Gonna remake it. Cool. It's still kind of blow though. You get going that good and get about done, and then something screws up. Alright. It'll be a good time we can cut back in and get some rings laid. Oh, I started on the wrong side, didn't I? Some more of those too. Frost. Spend some time and get these things separated, looks like. Yeah, I'm starting to run out of what I had ready out. A few more here. Yeah, let's stop right there. It's going to be in this next little group is where I'll be doing some of the changing after this one. I'll kind of take a little extra time to decide on exactly which ones I want to change. Yeah, this way this time. Anyway, now we're back to it. It's the only part that kind of blows about, you know, getting all this set up, because just so many, it was a little easier when I could put stop rings in and just work on one color up to that point. It was at least easier. A little more time consuming when you got to count out and so many different colors or flipping back and forth. And it takes a little longer in that aspect of things. Oh man, yeah, issues. But we'll probably get to, hopefully we'll get this row done before we end the stream tonight. That'll put us up to, what this is row 16, so I need to count out how many, see how many it says I've got. I think it was 91, 92 total. I don't quite remember right offhand. I know I've got several pages of the color text printed out. Give me my ring counts. Probably a way I could do it on a computer, but then that just means messing more with the computer while I'm doing it, and that just drives me nuts. I almost need a production staff so they can kind of keep control of that stuff, so no one had to worry about it, right? Yeah. I will say my main camera here that we're using tonight, it can run for 12-15 hours a day, because I'll just kind of let it go whenever I take a quick break or a stop. And I mean, I stop the recording of it, but I just let the camera be on, so it's a quick, easy startup whenever I'm like, okay, let's go do, 20-30 minutes. I can just click record on the computer, come over and sit down and do some, and it's just going. At least that's what I've been doing, and having pretty decent luck with it. And I guess that way I can get I still time it other ways too, but I'll have definitely a video record of time. Because I was like, well, I could put all this and put it up, as a weekly thing. Here's a 10-hour block of me streaming in real time. I'd have to put some music to it or something, like I said. Most of the time I was watching some TV show or something, so that's all you'd hear in the background for the most part until I started talking to myself. Just nudging further. But yeah, hopefully we can get this row done before we close up tonight. Or we will finish it up. It takes a little longer than what I would normally, since I don't really have to rush off like I was at one point. John, if you're ever watching this, get your stream going, man. I miss seeing it. I know you're busy, though. Like about everybody. And this is kind of my daily thing, so a little different. I mean, I did think about streaming daily, but I'd hate to, what would I do here? Sometimes you'd be just watching nonsense, so I try to plan out some things and try to make it somewhat planned so you got the idea of what's going on. And if you were on Twitch tonight, Vicky kind of knows what it is already. But like I said, she watched some other streams and heard me talk about it beforehand, so she had a little bit of an advantage. But I imagine after next week I'll be saying what it is, because by then hopefully you'll be able to make more of it out. And I might not have enough people here to really worry about it, but I just figured that's what I was going to do. To keep it going until it kind of can make it out. And so if I did say what it is, maybe I get more people to show up. I don't know. I'm just doing it. That's all I know. Like I got about 20-ish more rings or so, right in 15 to 20. That's when I need to start making my change in design. Just the more I looked at it, the more I was like, I think I wanted to make this change. But once you kind of get to a point after you've kind of done your graphic work for doing an inlay, really it's not easy to go back and make a change. So you kind of do those on the fly. Sometimes you can, at least in my other styles, I could somewhat easily redo them because they're limited colors and everything like that. But a blended thing like this, if I go in and change one little part, it could change many other parts, which blows. Alright, so alright, we need to go get more of these. I just dropped one in the blue. I guess we'll find it at some point. We're working this way. 7, 6, 7. This is where I'm wondering here. We'll go with those two, and then well, maybe that's not one. Yeah. Look again. That's right there, right? Okay, so we're going to go 1 and then 5. Let's go 2 and 4. Come on. 2. And 4. That should be back just to even on that. Go ahead and go with that one. And that one. This one. And then we're going to go this instead. Actually, we're going to do that. That's the second one. and showing the picture. Let's see. So, go ahead. Do that. I think that's where we'll stop on there, and then I think the rest of it will be the same as it's supposed to be. So there's some. I changed up about 7 rings in total. I'm hoping it will look better than what the picture is showing. Which was still okay in the picture, but I'm just thinking this will help. We'll see. And in the picture, the colors are kind of off anyway, just because you can't give off a shine of everything, and you try to get as close as you can, but monitors are different, and you got to print it out, and your color looks different than what it was on your monitor for what you printed, and blah blah blah. So we just try to get as close as we can and work with it. Right. That's chainmail for you. I'm getting to the point of singing. Nobody wants that either. Not super tired. I could have taken a nap, but you have a little bit of tiredness coming on. Get too tired, that's when I start getting really loopy and singing songs and making up things. Hopefully I won't be on a stream like that. We already had the no food eating day stream that was just trying to make sure that doesn't happen again. That happened yesterday though, I will admit. I got close to, it was probably about 5:30, and then it was like, alright, I got, food. I was still wiped out by about 9:30 though. Shortly after the stream, I'd ended up taking like a half-hour nap just because not eating during the day because I got stupid. Cat must open up the door. Got a little humider down here in the last little fuse. So, man, why am I starting to get a little hotter than normal? And the humidity set in, so it must have stopped raining, so they pulled the door open. I guess I could have pulled it open to look, but I haven't looked out in a little bit to see if it's raining or not. I know it was pouring down earlier when I went to looking. We're what, about an hour in? Oh, hour and 10 minutes. Again, I just want to thank everybody who's stopped by and watched, or still watching, or come and watch videos later. I do appreciate it. More shares and likes, the better. Helps out the business. Gets our name out there a little more. I think when I checked, I was at 273 likes on the page. Trying to get to 300. And then I was going to do a live stream giveaway of a few things. Grab some of my things, and we're just going to kind of do a free giveaway. Just to thank everybody. Then I'm going to shoot for that 500 and we'll do a giveaway. And again, I don't know exactly what. Kind of just depends. I do know when I get to 1,000, if we ever get to 1,000, that'd be great. But I figure if we ever get to 1,000, we'll do some kind of bigger type of giveaway for sure by then. Who knows how long that'll take. If we can ever reach that, it'd be nice too. So, share out to friends and tell them to give us a like. Come watch some streams at some point. You know, the more people there are in here chatting, you know, the funner it can be. Come on, get on through. I already run out of rings. That's always a bummer. Get what you did done and then you gotta count some more. That's where I need like a computer robot arm that I could program to give me colors, program it with the text, and it'll just start lining them up for me, and so when I get there they're just ready to go. Be nice, wouldn't it? If my kids were younger, they probably would have enjoyed that when they were little. Give me these colors in this certain order. Nowadays, you know, they're too old for that. Alright, back to doing 3 bars to back. 3 back. Yeah, getting a bunch of them are stuck. But when I get out more, it'll go a little faster because then I won't have to pick through, or easier to pick through. More of those out. That up after pull those out. Some of these. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Get back up there so I don't get you confused. Alright, on to the next group. Oh, backstretch. I'm just giving a quick look before I bend back over and might miss any. Alright. Off we go on the next group. Yeah, I have to think a little more when it comes to doing that, and I definitely don't want to screw up anything. Make it somewhat easy to come back and fix depending on what is screwed up. There could be a few parts that would be more difficult to do, but... And I've had to do that on some of my other pieces before, so... And I've had a few little minor screw-ups here so far on this one, but... easy enough, and found them before I got too far along. That didn't make them any issue. So. And when I do get this piece done while I'm working on the others, I will figure out some type of temporary holding thing. I'm not going to make anything spectacular or anything for holding this right now. And if somebody wanted to buy it, it'd be a different story. But I'm just going to do something simple just so I can get it hung and out for show until the rest of everything comes along and can start putting it all together. Figure I'll just show the individual pieces before the total put together. And like I said, I have no idea how long that will take. It's got 8 pieces to it, so there is a certain point where I could start putting some parts together before, and I'll have to, so I know what I need to make the size of some of the other parts, but that's definitely a little while down the road. I'll at least need to get, 3 parts done before I didn't want to even think about that. So it just depends on how quickly the inlay gets done and how quickly I start on another one. We could take a break after doing this for a little bit, or we could go right into doing another one. Just kind of depends. We'll see what happens when we get there. And if you're just now catching it or just skipping along, like I said, I probably will have a Saturday stream this week. Again, don't know what time. I'm shooting for earliest afternoon, 1 to 3ish, somewhere in there. I'm hoping to start it up. We'll kind of see how things progress on Saturday. But I figure I want to kind of give this an extra day of streaming for now. Like I said, I'm willing to put it on the other nights if people would rather watch me do this than some of the other stuff I've been doing. I just try to mix it up so it's not always the same thing, but somebody would rather just watch this or whatever. I'm willing to do whatever you guys would want to see for the most part. I'm not going to dance around for you. So, everybody wants to see me dancing. I'll dance like the little gopher from Caddyshack. That's my dance move, the gopher. Looks like I'm going to have to actually get a couple more bags of some colors opened up and cleaned. That was part of what also took a little longer to get this going on Tuesday, was just, I had 13 colors, and I think I ended up opening about 18 bags that all needed to be cleaned and dried, and had to keep them separate, So that took a little while. Still doesn't get it all off, though, I still get, most of the glitter now on the tables just from closing when you hear the clicks and whatnot. You might still shed off a little bit of stuff here and there, but got most of it cleaned off during the cleaning phase beforehand. I'll need to do that again for a few colors by the looks of it. I did have quite a few white, actually using quite a bit of champagne too. So those were my 2 big colors that had the most bags. And then there was a couple that were, 2, 3 bags, and then I think I had 3 colors that were just a bag was enough. Didn't even need half a bag really, but can't order half a bag. But went ahead and cleaned them up, and like I said, when I was putting up all the other supplies, we got to do the same thing to all those too. Get them cleaned up before they come into that part of the storage area for use, so I don't have to worry about cleaning them later. I mean, I still clean up the piece afterwards, but keeps the table cleaner when I clean them up beforehand. Where are we at here? Hour and 20. Yeah, we might be able to finish up this row within that time. I'm going to have to go shut that back door though, boy. It's getting humider and humider in here. Starting to sweat even though I'm not hot, just because it's so humid out. But it's not hot out, so the air conditioner's not running either. It hadn't run in a while, so it's one of those just can't get comfortable kind of days, I guess. Because it's not hot, but it's so humid you're still sweating. Cats are probably loving it though. Other than the rain part, they can't go out there and roll around. Somebody's peeling out down the street. I've got a Barney car. Oh yeah, we should be able to finish this up pretty quick. There's not too many left after these last two. Other than preparing the rings again. A quick little ring prep session. Let's see, I need to pull out some colors though, because I've been running low on most of them I have pulled out now. Alright, and we just got that little group here to do. I'm sure there'll be plenty more than enough here, but have them ready for later too, so I'm sure I'll get in at least another hour tonight, if not a little more. Alright. Let's see, where were we over here? Frost, rose. Rose. Frost and rose. Frost and rose. Let's come back out and together. Champagne. A little change up there. There's Frost. Where's the gold? That should be it. If we've counted right. That is. Alright, so we'll go ahead and finish this little row up here to finish off row 16. I think we were just finishing off 14 when we started tonight, so not too bad. Said it's always a little slower when I'm talking. And within that hour and a half, I mean, there was some time in the beginning we weren't working, and then, but I'll pull all that out of the video for the time-lapse portion of it. I'm still hoping that'll come out alright. I can envision it in my mind, but you know, what is in the mind and what ends up happening outside is normally only about 10% of the time does it work. And that's probably pretty average for me. Yeah, I mean, I guess I should say that a lot of times I can get it to work, but by the time I'm done and gotten it to do what I was wanting the thing to do or whatever it was, it's nowhere near where it started in the brain on what it would look like and how it would function. Normally, by the time I'm done, it's been through 3 or 4 versions, and that pretty much goes with anything when it comes to graphics or whatever it is, you know. Idea in the head, when you start trying to get it out, doesn't always come out the way you want it to, and so you backtrack and change it. Sometimes simply things don't work right and you just need to start back over. That's happened many times. Alright, we'll finish up this. We'll probably call it quits after we get done with this row here for tonight, at least for the stream. Like I said, I'll probably get at least another hour or so in tonight on it. Just working it here and there. I know I need to go get some housework done. Change over some laundry. You know, the good old standard house chores. Gotta keep up on things, or it can get to become a madhouse for adults. Let me give a quick check around here. No new messages. I checked in a little bit. Once I got the little quick spammer, at least it didn't keep spamming, I guess, so I'll give that to them. There's just one post. I don't know how to get rid of it. I haven't even tried. Normally I haven't had that kind of issue yet. I know some other streams that I watch, they have people show up all the time just trying to spam them, and it drives me nuts when they do that. It's like, I'm just come here to relax and watch a stream, not to listen to you all trying to sell something to me, or go view this or view that. I mean, how many people would actually click over to anything like that out of something like this? That's what, you know, I wouldn't, but I guess there might be people that would be like, hey, okay, let me go try, type thing. I've never been in that crowd, so it always dumbfounds me that people would go posting that kind of stuff up, because who follows it? Well, 4 more to go here. And we'll call her done for tonight. Where are we at? 1:27, so yeah. About an hour and a half, no problem. I like it when a plan comes together. Good stopping point. For the stream and just a break from it. And come back and get some more done. Yeah, just as I'm starting to sweat more, the air conditioner finally kicks on. After I keep talking about the back door. I guess I need to be a good time to finish up anyway, so I can close the back door. Let the coolness work its job. So, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I will give a quick stretch out here before we end. But thanks for dropping in, catching any part of it at any point in time. It's always great to see y'all. That's where we're at here so far. Hopefully there'll be enough contrast to everything to make out what this is by a little bit by next week, more so. We're at row 16, so we will, for sure we'll be back on Monday for our medium project night. But check out Saturday, keep checking in. I'll make a post when we're going to try to stream on Saturday, because I will stream at some point Saturday. And then we'll see you Saturday, and then on Monday. And if Mr. Mouse will wake up, we'll end the show for tonight. Alright, thanks everybody for dropping in, and we'll see you later.